What's up, everybody? Malik here. Happy Friday to you. I hope it's an amazing one. And guys, we got another exciting day of Overwatch League action in store for you today. Both of the LA teams are going to be doing battle today, both the Gladiators and the Valiant. How many Gladiators and Valiant fans we got in here today? Quite a bit? So yeah, it's gonna be really rowdy later on, but we're starting off the day with a matchup between the Dallas Fuel and the Boston Uprising. These two teams have faced off twice already, and in both matches, it was the Boston Uprising who got the victory. So the Dallas Fuel have a chance to not only win their first time against the Boston Uprising, but be the first team to take the Boston Uprising out this entire stage. A lot of people are saying that the Boston Uprising are probably going to go 10-0 this stage. There's a strong possibility for that. What do you guys think? They're gonna rise up? They're gonna rise up? There's a good chance for that. Well, yo, as you can see, the Blizzard Arena, they're ready to get this action started, so let's not waste any time and get this payload moving!
Friday night, people, that's right. We are back with more Overwatch League. How you guys doing out there? Blizzard Arena, we okay? We feeling good? That's what I like to hear. I'm Puckett. You know the boys. We brought them over from England. It's Bren. It's Sideshow. One of them intelligent, the other one hilarious. Guess which one is which. Let's get into this one. Brent, you're the smart one.
Okay,
we got a schedule.
Excellent.
Brent, you're the smart one. Let's get into the schedule for today because we got 3 exciting matches. It all starts with our #2 team in the league, #1 overall in the stage standings, Boston, going up against Dallas later, though I know a lot of people are pumped for that middle match.
Yeah, it's going to be cracking either way. I think this is going to be one of those matches that you do not want to miss at all.
Let's jump right into our first match of the day here. We got Dallas going up against Boston, and Boston, well, they got a chance to clinch the first Stage 3 playoff spot if they walk away with a win today. They're also, more importantly, though, in my opinion, looking to set a league record with 12 wins in a row. Bren, they're perfect in Stage 3. They're carrying over those wins from Stage 2 as well, but looking at the remaining matches, just 3 left here. Can anyone take them down?
I really don't think they can, Puckett. I feel like this is a squad that they always come in prepared for their squads, the teams that they're playing against, and realistically, to throw them off guard, you kind of have to play unorthodox strategies.
Now, yeah, Josh, how do you see this playing out?
Well, the NYXL in their previous 2 stages have been the best team, and I would even say that the NYXL are the best team in the league still. But they were still unable in Stage 1 and Stage 2 to go through undefeated. It's just so difficult to keep up that kind of momentum. And the Boston Uprising, yes, they've had these 11 wins in a row looking for 12, but 7 of those previous games have gone to a map 5. They've been nail-biters, absolutely close, right on the line. And so if they continue that going forwards, I think the Boston Uprising are likely to slip up somewhere. So far, as Huck was saying in a previous interview, they have been excellent, but you know, at the right opportunities, the right times, they've been a bit lucky as well. They've been able to come away with these sweeps. So I don't know how much longer that can last. I wouldn't be surprised to see them crumble on one of these games, even though they're the favorites coming into the last.
Well, just to see it last this long is kind of ridiculous, right? 7 of your last 12 go to Game 5s, but you're perfect in all of those Game 5s recently. So, Brad, what makes this team so good under the pressure?
Compared to other teams, the Boston squad, they excel in almost every role that they play. They have a set style that they go into. They prepare well for their teams as well, which is one of the most important factors. But they can actually, if there's any weak link in the team, they can really just carry them and elevate them with the rest of their play, because it feels like consistency. That is the name of their game. They really rarely have a bad day when they're playing in Overwatch. So it's very impressive to see. I always love watching Boston.
If you look at the top teams in the league right now, they all have a star support player. And Josh, you were highlighting that the Uprising has one of the most underrated players in the game right now in Kelix.
Yeah, I think so. He's really the linchpin of a lot of their strategies. They rely on the Mercy quite a lot. You can see here, Mercy playtime, the Boston Uprising make the most use of that hero out of any of the other teams in the league, or at least make the use of Kelix on that hero out of any of the other teams in the league. And they had a bit of a dip in Stage 2 when they couldn't run it as often. But Neptuno, Kelix, Arc, these are the top 3 teams at the moment in this stage, I think, in terms of their overall performance, though Fusion dipped a little bit yesterday.
Whoops.
And Kelix's Mercy play is part of that. He's able to dip between the front line and the back line, keep mistakes up when they go for the dives, and still be able to recover at Neko. And as you could see there, resurrecting a huge amount of his team's deaths when they're actually in the fights. So I think the fact that Boston is so good at playing around Kelix, and he's really taken on this role, because before the Overwatch League, he didn't play any of it. This has been fantastic from Boston and from Kelix.
It's pretty amazing to watch the Danish player grow in the game, and also keep your eyes on Note, that diva keeping him up during those resurrections. That's enough about Boston. Let's talk about Dallas, because this squad is coming in today in a tough spot right now. But despite the loss on Wednesday, they seem to be in better spirits. They brought in Taimu, they brought in Coco. They seem happy once again. What do you want to see from from Dallas in the game, though?
These are the key to victories for Dallas, in my opinion. I feel like they need to play to their strengths, which is, for one, playing these unorthodox strategies, once again, coming up. And the fact that they have Seagull in the mix as well, he can play all these niche heroes, allows them to take teams off guard in a lot of senses. And that's actually what I feel like you need against Boston, because they prep so well against teams, and good teams at that. Sometimes you do need to just throw them off guard of something that they can't actually understand and prep for. Now, another factor is Taimu. This guy, when he pops off, this guy is an OG veteran of the game, and he's a fantastic hit scan player. He can play other heroes alongside it, like the Roadhog, like the Junkrat, and when he is playing well and supreme, he can honestly carry the team. So I feel like if Dallas are going to be taking a win today, those are the two ways they're going to be doing it.
If you missed the match on Wednesday, Dallas is playing without effect their star Tracer. Remember, he's back in South Korea for the remainder of Stage 3. Today, who are they running on DPS? It's time to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome our first team of the day to the stage. It's the Dallas Fuel. The old Moo is back, and the old Coco right behind him. You got Mickey running the diva, and it looks like Seagull maybe filling that second DPS role once again.
Yeah, and it looks like they're running with the 4 OGs again, once from the MVS squad. And again, the two people that I mentioned in their keys to victory, Seagull and Taimu, are playing in this roster. So again, veteran players, very highly skilled, and it's seeing now what they can bring. And I feel like as well, they're in a very good spot right now, because I feel like there's been like the chains have been unleashed off their minds. You know, they don't have to worry too much coming into these games anymore.
No expectations.
No expectations, right? And sometimes that can be a blessing, because teams, they often feel shackled by these pressures of trying to win these games and get those wins. But it feels like now Dallas, they've got a weight taken off their shoulders.
Coco told me to look out for his Genji today, but most likely we'll see him on the Orisa. And we know that Dallas has liked a lot of triple tank comps recently. Josh, what do you expect to see knowing the maps today? We're kicking things off on Anubis.
Yes, I think for a number of these maps, they can get big value out of the Widowmaker. We'll see Taimu playing that a number of times. Seagull is most likely going to be playing a lot of Junkrat throughout this match, I think, particularly on Anubis, where we begin here. That kind of DPS combo alongside the Orisa. We saw they were even attacking with an Orisa on Anubis. Very strange stuff. Eventually managed to get it through, but I don't know whether they're going to be able to pull that same stuff off against Boston.
Talking with their coach Peak, he said, we're just trying new things out. It's a new week, new match. We'll see if they can get the job done today against a team that's been red hot. Let's welcome them to the stage. It's number 2 overall, the Boston Uprising. 19-8 after their first 27 matches, but 7 in a row here in Stage 3, looking to be the first team to complete a stage with a perfect record.
They are a phenomenal team. Meteoric rise, the true underdog story. I think nobody would have expected them to be in the second place spot. And how can you not love this team? Great coaching structure. You can see how it goes through into their play on the field. They have a fantastic plan when they come towards every map. They are a fantastic team to watch.
Yeah, they've certainly made a fan out of me, at least. I mean, it's always a treat to watch Boston play, because it is honestly such high level of Overwatch that you rarely honestly see in a lot of senses, in the way that they actually play around the map, the way they have set strategies that you can pay attention to. And not to mention as well, they have high mechanical skills. These star players like Striker, who can pop off in a variety of situations, who does almost carry the team in a sense, but I don't even want to say that he carries the team, because the rest of Boston is just that good.
They have such a nice system whenever they approach these things. And going back to our discussion about Dallas trying to throw them off with unorthodox stuff, I think Boston are just going to stick to their game plan no matter what they see coming at them from the Dallas Fuel. And it's going to be really tough to knock Boston off their game. It works so well this stage, playing around that Mercy, getting really heavy dives. They are a fantastic team.
Boston, the team to beat currently in Stage 3. We'll find out, can Dallas get the job done? We're kicking off Friday with a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, clap those Sour Patch Thundersticks. Make the rumble happen as we send it to our caster. It's Similar.
Thank you, Puckett. And well, we do miss Golden Dad, but Puckett is back as well. And you know, I always need more Puckett in my life.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
we're all just overjoyed. Overjoyed. All right, well, it's all good, man. I'm glad that we can get into the flow. It's the first cast for Hex and I this week, and, well, we've got a good one. I mean, I'm always a fan of watching Boston play. You know, they cannot get enough praise. Josh put it right. You know, that is the underdog story of the league.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming into the league. If you look all the way back at the preseason, people were laughing at this roster. Yeah. Straight up laughing at it, ranking them.
You included?
They're dead last. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I
don't actually know if you were.
No, I didn't think they were going to be all of that good, but they've came together and have looked really good. I mean, Assault has been absolutely dominant for them. They're at about a 75% overall win rate on Assault. They've dropped one map here. They mostly struggled, I think, on Hanamura because we've seen how good their Volskaya is.
Yeah, it's indomitable.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much Boston's just playing wicked good right now.
Everybody on it too, and I mean, I'm surprised Bren. Oh well, look at that! I love it. They found the rock that Coco was hiding under.
Coco, it's been a long time since we've seen him. He's going to be back into the roster. They are still running Unko on this, so it's not as like the super old school envy-ish looking roster here as Chips not in the lineup today, but we'll see how they're going. Look, they're trying stuff out. They got Taimu in early on, and their DPS lineup's going to be real interesting to look at. Boston's not going to surprise anybody. They run pretty much the same stuff on a lot of different points. Not the biggest innovators, but their execution is so perfect that it doesn't matter.
It's certainly Dallas are going to have to be one of those versatile teams, right? They can really show that they can swing with the punches. Just because, I mean, Effect, not here, decides, hey, I need a break. I'm going back to South Korea. It's like, well, you kind of are a Star Tracer player, so I guess we're going to have to deal with that somehow.
He's not only their Star Tracer player,
he's their star.
He's their only Tracer player. There's really not a whole lot of other guys on this roster who can play Tracer for him. I mean, Seagull or Taimu might have to pick up that mantle, but offensively, a new look for the Dallas Fuel as they do roll out. Seagulls on the Junkrat. They're going to head into a triple tank composition here. Taimu, Coco, Mickey on Roadhog, Orisa, and Diva, respectively.
I don't think that this is catching anybody off guard. It is kind of what you expect without Effect in the mix. No Tracer, so you're going to start throwing some tanks in there. Taimu, a capable Roadhog. So he can definitely do, he's going to be like that beefy second DPS, basically, as far as the tanks are concerned.
Yeah, he's going to be the one who has to open up these fights with kills, because Seagull's just going to be throwing in damage when they get low. It's got to be up to hit the hooks. Right now, Striker's just going to try to knock down the shield. Already has Riptire against this triple tank.
Yep, let's go. Straight in. You need that burst damage to be able to pick it up, and he's going to run it right back around. It gets caught by Taimu. Okay, then he was looking for a squishy target to unleash on, but unfortunately for him, wasn't able to find Seagull.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, both of the supports for Dallas have already gone down. It is time to retreat, but it's not a composition that can retreat without their supports either, so they're going to get picked off on the way out. Dallas is, I believe, going to probably try to stick to the same composition at least until an ultimate phase of the game, maybe get some ults up and going on. Seagull only at 58% on that Riptire. You saw already one tire came out from Striker, so no stranger to getting fast ultimates. Of course, when you see him on Tracer, charges up that pulse bomb very quickly as well.
Oh no, yeah, Striker's a monster. You just put him on anything and he'll get the job done. He is definitely the standout player on the Boston Uprising, but they're all so good still. Between him and Gamsu, it's hard to pick an MVP.
Nice shot there for Mistakes, who has actually had one of his best Widow rounds on Anubis defense before. It's where we saw him hit a beautiful 3-kill trio there. So far, I mean, he's been decent for this team, filling in a lot of different roles. Has yet to have his giant standout game, so I think he's been more than serviceable. And when you have guys on Boston who are the 5 others you can just put in somewhat even the MVP conversation, that he should be fine.
So we've already got the bongos ready to go here for Boston Uprising. They had a 6-pack, but Mistakes decided to get that infra site rolling. Just so they can see through walls. They'll have an idea now of what the Dallas setup is when they try and go for this push. We have both support ults ready for Dallas Fuel, and Taimu just got the whole hog online. So I mean, we'll see when he decides to get that into the fight. Could just melt that shield as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm trying to discern what the strategy generally is here. Do they all want to rotate through the side room? Well, I mean, I guess we have more time to talk about it, as Harry and Mickey will fall immediately to the self-destruct of Note. The desk mentioned it. Note has been great, but he can go across on the Boston roster and say, well, he's good because of this guy, because of this guy. It all works so well in concert together. I think the notion for this composition for Dallas is to try to go in left side of the room behind the shield and then go into pack room, but the problem is going against a Junkrat, you're just going to eat so much damage on the way in, and if someone lags behind, they're going to get picked off.
There we go.
They just try to dive in.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. When are we going to see Unko, show the way and get out there with the Lighthouse? Because Coalescence, you need that throughput healing. What a sick tire from Striker. No hiding from it. Harry Hook with the wings out. They're just banging their head against a brick wall right now, Dallas.
Yeah, they are able to get the supercharger down, but that is the only time they've been on that side of the kill feed finally get their first kill of the map as Note will fall.
Yeah, that's the big one though. Mistakes find Seagull. A lot of damage dead here for the Dallas Fuel. They lose their supercharger as well. And so they do manage to actually infiltrate some tanks here. I mean, they're still alive. They've kind of made it through the first choke point. Needed to hit that hook there. Taimu unfortunately doesn't connect. So now it's going to be the slow approach here for Dallas. Once again, through the arch. Holds it in. Lots of damage getting pumped in. Taimu nearly dropping.
Yeah, Taimu's going to have to take a breather, but still under heavy pressure. Going to go back to his Moira. And they finally have some pressure on the point. So clumped up right now. Seagull's the one not clumped up. Gets picked off.
Trying to dive the high ground. We will have Note. Oh, and he nudges it off. What a sick self-destruct from Note. Nudges it off the edge right into Mickey's face.
It's one of the cool little techs he can do as D.Va. Drop it on the high ground and then use the pilot D.Va to push it off of the edge. And this is a tough showing so far for Dallas. They will not get any progress on the first point of Anubis.
I absolutely love that. That we had the pull-out camera, the free cam to spot that, because you just see Note. I mean, D.Va, yeah, she's got strong legs. She may not look it, but she's able to push that mech just a little bit, enough to nudge it right off the side, right into Dallas's face.
She's like deceptively strong. It's like someone who works out their core a lot. You're like, oh, this person's weak. No glamour muscles. But then all of a sudden,
just cranks.
It's getting bodied.
Exactly, just cranks it out.
I mean, that was an interesting composition from Dallas. It seemed like they never got to be set up to where they wanted to be set up in it. I guess maybe you try to go right through the middle and hope that that works. They put a lot of damage onto the shields, focused on the shields perhaps a little too much. It might be a composition that works better with perhaps a Lucio just to get people in position a little quicker. Maybe a right side rotation would have been a better call there. But the desk mentioned, Dallas is experimenting right now. They've kind of, let it go a little bit. There's less pressure on them now. The expectations simply aren't there anymore because they can't be. I think they're mathematically eliminated from the grand finals at the very least. So now it's just about trying to find out what works here. I think you can say that one did not.
That did not.
I mean, look, not to deep dive in the analysis here, but that didn't work.
Really, I'm shocked, guys. I had no idea. I totally thought that was going to work for a second. I mean, it's a tough one for Dallas, especially when you got players changing it up. You lose one of your key fundamental players in your roster, so now you become a little bit more one-dimensional. I mean, it seemed like Boston were just really ready to deal with tanks. They're like, we know what you're going to throw at us. Striker, just get on the Junkrat.
Yeah, I mean, the one dimension is also because you don't have a Tracer player dividing attention. So everyone's just focus firing, and with the defender's advantage and without your attention split, you're just pumping all of this damage into choke points. And it seemed like they were losing people on the entry. They would lose people late. So the offense not working out well. Very simple win condition for Boston to kick this set off with a win. Get on the point, get 33%. That's it. We'll go to the next map.
Very quick here. So let's see, can Dallas hold? I like it, the aggressive positioning here from Taimu. Not every day that we see a Widow posted up on the initial arch like this. That is throwing him just a little bit out of whack, although mistakes is on Genji. He will force Taimu to give ground. So now we do get back into that Shetland pony kind of setup here.
Yeah, I like that aggressive play, though, from Dallas. Just trying to throw them off a little bit. And with Neko going down and Gamsu falling shortly after, this push is very likely over for Boston. They know what's at stake here. That's why they're trying to play this so aggressively up front. There's a possibility you lose someone up here, but maybe you can get an aggressive res. Kelix is also very hurt. And now they've got that D.Va mech out of mech. Real stuff.
Kelix very dead. Yeah, that is going to basically end this push here for Boston, although Kelix is about halfway to his Valk. Eventually, Taimu finds the kill on Note, so a nice delay there. And Seagull, I mean, he got the trap onto Neko. Just got that, that trap that we saw him set up there. He had the mine. As soon as they go through that doorway, boom, he's blowing up that mine, and he gets a kill on a squishy.
Yeah, it's not surprising for Boston. I mean, losing Neko there really hurts them on the way in, but they're going to try it again, and they run a very dive-oriented offense on this map. It'll be interesting to see if one of the flankers goes left or right to divide that attention. Taimu, though, hits another shot. Look at all the teamwork on that D-Mech. 4 people in that kill feed.
Yeah, everybody just concentrating on it. Seagull point blank with the mines as well. I mean, if you try and dive him and you don't have the D-Matrix up, I think Note just ran out of D-Matrix because he got D-Mech'd instantly as soon as it went down. You can't cancel out those grenades, you can't cancel out the mines, and the focus fire is just going to be too much.
Striker's lost. He's way back at the opposing spawn now. He's been back there for a while. They know he's there, but that's what I was talking about. Divide the attention. Now maybe Taimu wants to look back there once and misses his shot.
Yeah, he is looking.
Yeah.
He is looking. He's, I mean, taking it just a bit.
Mystics also has Blade up as well. They're going to try to go over the top. This is where a lot of the flankers will come from anyway. It's a nice angle from Seagull to try to get in here. Oh, the Mercy outline is there. Oh! What a shot!
So sick from Note and Mako. They do lose Striker in the meantime, and Taimu right now.
That's both DPS already
He's
down.
doing all the work.
Yeah, both DPS down. Perhaps you can try to push in 5v6 when one of them fall, just to get some pressure on the point and pull them out of position. Not going to be the case now, as you see both supports trying to retreat, but that's a flank by Mickey. You're not going anywhere.
Yes.
I guess Kellex got out. Slippery.
He got ferried over by Mistakes, it looks like. Striker Mistakes just waiting there patiently. Okay, we have Valk now.
Yeah.
So
So
Mako's nearly got trans.
what Boston's been doing is just saving up ultimates here. This is how they ended up taking second point against London, where they were stymied most of the time. Eventually, they just bludgeoned them to death with getting 5 to 6 ultimates up at the exact same time. But they keep losing people on the entry right now. Striker going down means they'll probably still wait. Boston loves to try to initiate with a pulse bomb, whether that be Volskaya or almost any other map. They wait for Striker to get there, and then that's the go button. Because this pulse bomb, even when he misses, forces people into odd positions.
Let's see, I'm curious. I was wondering if Dallas were going to try and take the fight to Boston there, really jump on that opportunity.
Look at Gamsu. Gamsu's under this bridge right now. He's looking for the dive. He goes in. Unko's all alone.
We've got Harry Hook, though. Harry Hook is still waiting patiently before he uses the Valk. Now decides it's time. Kellex has already used Valk of his own, but we lose Coco to Note self-destruct, and that can slow things down here for Dallas. Unko going to throw in the trance just to stay alive, trying to keep that pressure up on the point, but with no trance, with it running out, Unko's a dead man, and Mistakes could pick up a second kill. He just can't find a target.
And this all comes after the dive of seeing Unko alone. That forces Harry Hook back. That means the 4 on the ground are not getting any healing, and that's where the kills came in from Boston. Great patience from Mistakes, and they will wrap up this map.
Yeah, excellent work. One great push. All the ults used in concert. Works perfectly for Boston Uprising. They needed a third of the point to win this map, and they will get it. Boston, well, in the lead now, 1-0 in terms of maps in this series.
Not necessarily surprising. It's a little surprising how bad Dallas looked on their offense there, but this is a team that when they look good, look better on defense than they do offense. Boston had an easy task in front of them against an interesting composition, but that was a map type at least we expected them to win.
Yeah, we were expecting the strong start here from Boston. They are definitely in the lead in terms of this stage. Now it's going to be a question of whether or not Dallas can bounce back on the map that's coming up after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
Striker, what a throw to start this attack with. Mickey managed to get that one.
It's all too easy for this man.
And now the pressure is on.
Hello, welcome back everyone. This is Zoe, and there have been a lot of big news surrounding the Dallas Fuel's roster and coaching changes. So in the midst of all of these, you might have missed a small one of them signing a new coach roughly 2 weeks ago. His name is Jin, and he is not from Duro Tower, but actually from Korea, and he will not be acting as war chief, but as their assistant coach. He arrived last night, and we already saw him backstage working with the team. We're probably not going to see any immediate changes to the team strats and compositions just yet, but he's here and he is with the team, so that's great news to hear. Let's see what they have in store for us on map number 2.
Thank you, Zoe. All right, so Hex, what do we make of this? All I can picture is this poor guy coming in with like a bucket of sand or water or something, and he's just walking into that room. You know the meme where he walks into the room and everything is on fire?
Everything is fine. This is totally fine.
That's pretty much what this guy's got in his hands now. Everything is on fire, and he just has to figure out which fire to put out first. Is it the tanking one, or is it the DPS one?
Well, I mean, like, as rough as it's been for Dallas there, and like not having a Tracer player, one of my favorite players to watch lately has been Striker for the Boston Uprising. And we've made the case he might be the best Tracer in the league. And look at this, his kill participation. Look, he's at 55% nearly. The next 3 players are all tanks and off tanks, which you expect more before you get down to the DPS. It is because he's one of the busiest Tracers in all the Overwatch leagues. A good example of this coming up now. This is on Volskaya. He starts it off with a pulse bomb, and I want to start here because at the end he might get another one. Misses it, totally fine, but no wasted movements. He knows exactly where he's going back there, trying to get kills in, and is dancing around the entire time. Now, he's going to have to rotate out of here. He's just poking damage at every single target he sees. Now he takes a Tracer duel. While that Tracer goes to get a pack, he goes to the Zenyatta again, and now he gets a Zenyatta halfway. Okay, Tracer's back, rewind, I'll finish the Zen, and now checks the Tracer again, goes back for even more, starts farming the tanks yet again after it. Remember how we started with a Pulse Bomb? Look, another Pulse Bomb right here, throws it out. Starts the fight with a Pulse Bomb, finishes it with a Pulse Bomb, no wasted movements. He's going target to target. What was so impressive to me is he's in the Tracer duel. He's like, okay, you're in a pack, I have half a second, so some damage on the Zen. And that starts it off so he can recall, kill the Zen, and do it again. He's so busy all the time. That's why he leads the league in kill elimination participation.
He's a real busybody. You know, just getting up in everybody's business. Just doesn't lay off it.
But he's annoying to everybody like
usually
that busy
those people are, Hex.
Well, that's what Tracer should be doing. All right, so that's Striker. That's what Dallas is essentially missing in a Tracer player. They are going to bring in some substitutes, though. AKM will be in for the team, as well as OGE subbing in on the main tank. So that roster is completely changing up as we head over to Blizzard World.
To a Blizzard World where you and I were discussing it, right? AKM coming in. Are we going to see some Pharah again? That is a strategy that we've seen from him in the past. I mean, he is also the hit scan. You know, Soldier can work on this map. McCree can work.
We saw a little Pharah yesterday on Blizzard World too. I don't think it's good. I think teams have been trying it to deal with Junkrat compositions, but Boston sometimes will run a Junkrat. Most notably, they run a lot of Sombra on this map. I think Mistakes maybe set a record for hacks last time we saw him on this map. This is also something Dallas will do. They'll run kind of a slow push with a McCree, and now you've got McCree Junkrat. So this is meant to go slow. It's a little odd they're not running maybe a Reinhardt or even Orisa in here, but they do want some pressure to take down the high ground with the dive tanks. Already though, with Taimu going down, that's so much damage output lost. AKM under a little bit of fire now as well.
Yeah, I think Striker missed the memo that Dallas don't have a Tracer to field against him because he was over in the hallway where usually you will see the Tracer flank come through. So he was kind of hanging out over there and then realized, right, no, okay, they're all just 6 together. And he decides to join in on the fight.
Well, that's the Tracer flank, but it's also where a Sombra would come through, and we've seen AKM play a lot of Sombra on this map, so you still want to guard your flank there, and he's fairly confident the rest of his team can do it. Also, you're there for, like, if a team starts retreating, that you can come in and finish that off. If your tanks see an opportunity and dive, you want to be in position to double blink. That's a nice kill to take down Neko. Can they deny the res? They cannot.
Excellent work, though. OGE and Mickey, they pounce on it immediately. That was a sick play from Dallas. Excellent punish on the Mercy res, and that just spins it into the first point being there. Striker finds the kill on OGE eventually. OGE kind of picking a fight that he definitely wasn't looking for there. Mistakes will be backing off the surviving member along with Striker. They can maybe get in here. Striker could probably touch the point to delay it, but
still hanging
none
out.
of his team are close enough to back him up. So
yeah, really nice job of punishing the resurrection attempt there. We noted in the broadcast earlier that highest percent of resurrected teammates per 10 minutes is Kelix, so you know he's going to go for it. You have to dive on that. You know he's going to try to bring up that kill you just got. Great punish there from the Dallas Fuel on offense.
Yeah, that was OGE and Mickey just not wasting a moment. And now, well, that's a fairly good hack. Plenty of targets silenced, but not the key Unko, who's going to be able to keep everybody alive. And so unfortunately for mistakes, they only really get the one, and even then, AKM gets res. Never mind! There's the dunk! Double self-destruct, Unko and Taimu out of it.
They do it so well on this map. Mistakes and Note usually combine for this EMP self-destruct. A lot of teams have taken note of that as well. The EMP didn't necessarily get anything. They wait till the Transcend goes down, even though you can kill people through the Transcend there. You're not going to get the Zen up over the top, and Note has been so good. I mean, Boston player blank has been so good, it's really easy to fill in that sentence.
Okay, for a second, yeah. It's like, I don't know, we can talk about it. All right, Gamsu is going to be in here. Just taking the fight to him. He's got his primal. He will get stunned just briefly. AKM on the high ground, just trying to stay alive. Trying to stay alive so he can keep pumping in the damage and finding those high-value targets. Kelix, Nako, they're on point. They're dead, that is.
Yeah, they force that self-destruct out, and AKM has played very well. He was actually very good on this last map for Blizzard for this team, where it was, you know, it seemed like a lot of players had maybe thrown in the towel at that point, but AKM actually had himself a decent game. Dallas continues to find some progress here on the cart. A Riptire is going to come out and it's at least going to zone the other team out. You usually know where the supports are. Up that ledge, you just tried to climb. They're not there. Taimu gets nothing out of that one. Zoning tire, totally fine.
Yeah, just look at all the progress they made with the payload. No, never mind, they aren't even on the payload. Come on, Dallas!
Bamboozled right there.
Bamboozled.
Oh, and a couple of nice kills for mistakes there as well, while AKM looks to plink away. They just got their tanks up there, denying him any sort of good targets. And that is a full cleanup for Boston's defense. Didn't even have to use a whole lot to get to it either. And Note's gonna have self-destruct, and we have EMP. Still trying to settle on a name.
This is such a sad fight for Junkrat. Just like, please let me just hit a grenade. You got like 100 HP. If I could just hit a grenade on you, you'd die.
And finally gets close and she just translocates away.
Yeah, that's painful.
Man, it's old tech versus new tech, right? Lobbing grenades versus hacking people.
Might as well have a pocket trebuchet. Just throwing them in there. I mean, hey, that is a good way to deal with Sombra. I can't hack this. It's made out of wood and rope.
Yeah, well, it's obviously the superior siege weapon to a catapult. Everyone knows that.
You've been on the trebuchet subreddit, haven't you?
All right, we do have EMP and self-destruct going on. I want to see if this works out. Still continue to send us your recommendations for name. I heard Bombra, which I kind of liked. You got DDoS. There's a lot of interesting combos. There it is, over the top. They're just going to EMP, though. No self-destruct come out.
Nice follow-up there, Nako, working with Striker.
Yeah, Note actually did toss that self-destruct in. Sorry, missed that one. Ends up demeching Mickey there. And with those two down, this should be another full cleanup as Striker continues to terrorize the backlines. They got to get out.
No, he's relentless. And, well, I like it here. He's not got recall, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Mickey does get caught by Nako, and they're going to push together as a team. I love it. Another great stagger kill there on OGE. Harry Hook will have the res off cooldown, so he will be able to bring OGE back into this fight.
Boston's very good at punishing lackadaisical retreats. If you're just going to kind of be like, okay, soft reset, they will find you and hunt you down, even if you think you're safe for a second. And that's how they get good stagger kills. That's why their defense can be so good. They generally run these highly mobile compositions, which allows them to hunt down these late kills.
He made it out! Gamsu, sick.
Yeah, Taimu deaded it with 3 HP, and it's just too far away to get significant damage done there. Neko did fall, though. They're not going to be able to res that. Kelix fell very, very low and had to pop his Valkyrie.
Oh, Unko under pressure, though. He is getting pocketed. He can definitely win that fight. Striker going to back off. Managed to pick up that pack. Unko going for the volley, but look at this. Striker, he's just keeping Unko so distracted. In the meantime, they need to keep a presence on this payload here, Boston Uprising, because Mickey, he's got his eyes on the prize, and he is making a whole lot of progress right now for Dallas Fuel.
There's another EMP just about ready. They got to get on this card, though, to provide some pressure. Both tanks for Dallas pushing an EMP set up perfectly if they can find it. There it is. And another Transcend after EMP. That's 3 times that Unko's really at perfect timing on this.
He was just out of range. Unko, lucky break for him. He was literally 2 feet out of the range of the EMP radius there. So now, well, you are going to have it, but he gets overwhelmed eventually. Some Zen on Zen action there. Striker finds AKM, and they're getting picked apart here, Dallas Fuel. Without those healers, they're not going to be around for long. Mickey gets demeched, and the perfect cleanup coming in here for Boston Uprising with 5 seconds left on the clock.
Taimu is on the Widow. Unable to get there on time, take a couple down, and that is where the payload will stop for the Dallas offense. And Boston, I mean, I just love this composition for them. We were talking a little bit about mistakes and be like, so what's his best hero? I mean, his Widow's been okay. His Genji's been serviceable. Can play a lot of stuff. I think his Sombra is very, very good. I mean, you start putting him in the top 5. You know, Dante, of course, leading that list as one of the best Sombras in the league. But this map in particular seems to suit his style very well for getting hacks off, for getting EMPs off, and then comboing it with Note. And you just know it's coming up. And it's almost always available every other fight just based on the charge rates. It's just really hard to play around and against on Blizzard World Second.
Yeah, it's the fact that he was kind of brought in as that Sombra specialist. And then just managed to figure out how to make it work.
I mean, he got 21 hacks and 11 targets EMP'd. Unko did a great job of getting Transcend off 3 times post-EMP. I mean, it's very good for a Zenyatta. You expect that from your team, and then you have to try to come in and punish off of that. They think we're all weak, and we are, but we don't have abilities, but you got to start just hitting regular shots, and that's where your McCree has to come in. That's where the nades have to connect, because now you've already used an ultimate to stay alive. Can you flip the tables and flip the script on them? Say, you used your ults, we don't have anything, but we're still going to kill you just straight up damage.
Mechanically, it is always possible. 30 seconds until we get this show on the road here, as Boston Uprising will be on the offense now. Not really looking to have too many changes here, it seems, in the hero lineup. Mistakes still on the Sombra. It will be a bit of that dive approach.
They've essentially played this map 100% Sombra Tracer. On defense, on offense, they play mostly the same thing. Now, against Soul's Junkrat, they went through a full right side rotation with everybody. They didn't even leave mistakes back on the point or to do anything. Everybody went full right side to avoid all that damage, and then they make the giant leap onto whatever target they deem is the highest value or the easiest to kill, really.
No, Dallas, you know that they've kind of set up to deal with this. I mean, you've got the anti-dives in AKM and Taimu.
Yeah,
McCree and the Junk.
Mickey's up front on the scout. Yeah, the defense matrix goes up, clearing the way of traps. And this is exactly what Boston does. Full right side rotation. Everybody's here.
Now it's just a matter of finding the angles. Mistakes, leaping in, leading the way, drawing attention to himself, and that opens it up for Striker to start working his way back. 2 body shots, though. Sick work from AKM. Great aim.
Yeah, that's very nice catch there to take him down. One of those headshots connecting would have actually taken him down, and now they've switched spots here. Gonna see where the dive is. Now Mistakes rotates around. Now he's gonna put pressure on, and now the tank's going after him.
Yeah, the tanks go leaping in. Gamsu out of line of sight of his healers. Unfortunately for him, he will get overwhelmed immediately. Mistakes was trying to work with him as well to find one of those targets, and they will eventually get the DMEC on Mickey. So some progress made. Gamsu is going to be able to get back into this fight pretty quick, obviously, with the jump pack. Already running back in. Another leap, and he should be in the fray.
And now they're just biding their time right now. This is a DPS duo that can't really take high ground without using concussion, and that's what happens. That's why they're taking high ground with their tanks, because the DPS have to play plays like that to try to take it back over. Unable to do so, the res will come off on AKM, but they've already lost another 2.
Man, Note right now, he's merciless. He sees an opening, he does not miss out on it. Finding these kills, staying backed up, he's getting great support from his healers. But I'm loving it. You may back up, try and play it safe, try and play for the point. Maybe OG gets topped up again, but no, just like, no. Just throws himself through. Doesn't matter if the whole Dallas Fuel team is there. Goes in and gets that kill. Stops Dallas from being able to contest.
They're the sharks in the water. They smell a little bit of blood, 1 part per million, and they go right after it. You know, it's just crazy to know that their instincts there, and they trust each other so much. I mean, when you talk about teams and a full team, you think of the Boston Uprising. Everyone else had these superstars coming in. Boston has made it work with just straight up teamwork. Huge EMP comes off.
Yeah, there it is. Mickey just going to be kind of moseying along here. Will he get DMEC'd? Yep, eventually he will. Now Striker going to go and look for a different target. Gets the stick on OG as well. And they are just finding all of the kills right now. Boston Uprising. Unko with the volley. No, never mind. It was Taimu, the headshot on Striker. But now, look, this is where the point needs to be pushed. The payload, if it can get up here, they're good.
The issue is Harryuk also uses Valkyrie during that fight as well, and he goes down.
Mickey is always on the ball with the payload. Like,
yeah,
look at all, he just delayed them another like 10 seconds worth of progress.
It does buy them another closer fight to where they want to take it, so they can wait for everyone to respawn rather than having to jump on here now and contest at the last second. They will have a full 6v6. Transcendence to work with as well. Primal Rage and Self-Destruct about up to. Dallas has to find some sort of combination to win a fight.
Oh, Gamsu, there we go. Gonna get right in on the Mifi targets. Taimu, he is getting pocketed, but now the healer has to go and worry about the other teammates, and Taimu left alone. He will get brought back up. We do have the Transcendence getting thrown in here by Neko, and Gamsu, man, just single-mindedly not allowing Taimu to have any say in that fight.
Well, it's their greatest kill potential right now is Taimu hitting some shots and stringing a few together as AKM has moved over to a Tracer, which if you've seen AKM play Tracer lately, you're not all that worried about it. Though, as I say that, he gets to the back line, gets himself a couple of kills, but in Striker v AKM, I'm taking Striker every day of the week, twice on Sundays, a quick 2-0 for Boston.
Yeah, Boston right now. It's just watching, again, with the free cam, you're getting to really see how those guys are working together as a unit. The Striker, Gamsu, they're just as a pair, with Note as well. I mean, they work so well at just knowing when to get in on that back line, get that key kill on the Zen to kick things off. Heavy hook soon to fall afterwards. And so, it is going to be Boston Uprising just looking indomitable right now. It's up to Dallas Fuel to turn it around here on map 3. We'll hear from the desk before we get to that after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Sour Patch Kids. Sour, sweet, gone. Boston's looking to stay undefeated here in Stage 3. So far, so good. They're up 2-0 over the Dallas Fuel at the half. The Uprising guys coming out here, and they are not taking the foot off the gas pedal, really taking it to Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, Dallas is struggling on their Anubis attack again. This is the thing. When you don't have the Tracer in the team and you don't have the Genji, they were even struggling with Anubis beforehand, right? Because they don't have a competent Genji, so they can't really play this. Or Seagull isn't actually playing Genji at the moment for them. Right. I should add that as a caveat. So they don't have this ability to spread out and just play dive. So instead, they're walking, kind of waddling towards the enemy team as an Orisa. And it takes a lot of mistakes from the enemy team for them to be able to get in position and actually execute on that one. So it's just a struggle right now for Dallas. They don't have their star Tracer player. They can't play dive. They've got to be inventive, and sometimes that doesn't work.
Well, I mean, even though Dallas is down 0-2, their fans wearing fedoras are still fired up here in the Blizzard Arena. I like you guy in the gray hat. Bren, let's go to your thoughts here as we take a look back at games 1 and 2. Anubis was all Boston, and it was a full hold.
Yeah, it's Dallas's push attempt is very akin to banging your head against a brick wall. I think Sebler described it as a little bit earlier in that game. But again, just really a testament to how good Boston are at this map. This is their bread and butter on Anubis. They really excel at these sort of slow, methodical assault maps, and today was no exception at all, because they really did just know how to really play around what Dallas was throwing at them.
Beautiful shot there, right?
Yeah, and we did actually get glimpses of the old move. This is why I said that Dallas needed to really show up and put on a performance here today if they were going to take the win. Tymo definitely had some shining moments in this match, but ultimately Boston is just so good at the overall executions, the game plan, the fundamentals to... Realistically, Dallas didn't really get too many opportunities to show what they were made of.
And Gamsu is just such a force to be reckoned with. You saw him on Anubis. OGE shows off his Winston play on Blizzard World, but again, Dallas struggling on the defensive side. Boston causing problems.
Dallas had a pretty good attempt to take point A there. They got it on the first try. They spread out, play very slow. As Tymo respawns, it's actually AKM and Unko that find the pick off. The old Rogue players, the French duo, find a pick onto Neko, and they're able to come forwards. But then once it gets into point B, and they can bait people in and then collapse on them with the Sombra and Tracer, it became very difficult for Dallas to actually get any meterage. And the defense there coming out from Boston is pretty decent, even though they don't look really 100% comfortable on Blizzard World yet.
You know, we slowly see Dallas improving. Of course, they're in a very difficult situation using players in the lineup today that they weren't running in the previous, basically, 18 weeks here. Brent, as we take a look, though, at the games, I think one of the shining lights has to be the Unko plays. Every single time mistakes went in with the EMP, Unko, good positioning on that Zenyatta, keeping his team up with the Trance. But we not only want to highlight some of the support players, the tanks in this game as well showed us some new stuff.
Yes, so like a little technique, a little bit of techers here, if you like, that you can employ in your own ranked games is that people don't really know about is actually the pushing of your own D.Va bomb. Now, hopefully we have the clip here to show you today because it is pretty nice and you can employ it in your own ranked games here. And what you do is you basically lay down the D.Va bomb like a little nest egg and you slowly nudge it with your baby D.Va body. And the bomb can actually be moved. It doesn't seem like it can, but this can catch players off guard. And it is a magic little technique that a lot of people aren't too familiar of. And you can see it again, just exactly what he does. He just lays on the bomb and he just pushes it ever so slightly. And players, they think they're safe from it. They recognize that the bomb is way up high, so they think they can get into cover, and you can really actually take some teams and some players off guard. So that is actually something that you too can employ in your ranked games and maybe someday be as good as Note.
Nice little tip there on the D.Va, but I want to look at the teamwork now here as we take a look at the attacks from Boston. They've been pretty precise. It looks like this squad has a game plan every single time. Bren, walk us through what they did on Blizzard World.
Yes, so we've got another Insights powered by Intel here, and it describes, this is a point A Blizzard World attack, and it's something that I've wanted to illustrate for quite some time because it's a very effective way of attacking into it. So one thing you need to know, and the setup here, is that Boston, they've already made the attack attempt. Essentially, they push all the way through the back ends here, and they take control of this choke point area here, and eventually try and push onto the point. Now, Gamsu actually dies a little bit into this fight, and they already lose him, but Boston, they don't give up. They actually stay maintained, they stay composed, they control the point to a decent level. I'm going to speed it up a little bit just so you can see when they get the first pick here. And they do eventually get it. It's just a slow poking and prodding that Boston do play so well. They get the picks and ultimately win the team fight. But the reason why I like the method of pushing up around this area and taking control of this section here is because if you get a pick on any of the enemies here, their spawn point is all the way in the back area right there. And they have to walk through this choke point to get back into the fight. Now, if your team's already got control of it, they're not going to be able to get to it at all. So you immediately sort of get an advantage in the team fight for doing this. And there are loads of teams that are currently doing this and attacking Blizzard World in this manner, but we don't really see them too often because Blizzard World is such a new map. Teams are still experimenting with the best ways to approach it, but this is the most successful attempt that I see at a team so far. And that is our Insights powered by Intel. And again, another little thing that you could probably employ in your own ranked games as well. Because
if you can get everyone else to follow you.
Get everyone to follow you. Again, probably not much luck on the last day of ranked, as I found out last night, but yeah, it's still a decent little bit of strategy that you two can sort of use.
What I really love about that play as well is that it shows how patient Boston are. Even when they lose Gamsu, they don't try and reset the fight. They know that they can still win it. So they put their tanks up on the high ground, and all they're waiting for is a mistake from the Dallas Fuel. And Taimu just jumps up and kind of exposes himself a little bit. Immediately Note is there with the punish. He's so great at being able to punish aggressive Winstons or players slightly out of position, and he just minced Taimu off the map. And from there, they're able to get positioned.
I want to show you guys a specific play. First off, I got a lot of questions on Twitter. Yes, I did get out of gold this morning. I tried till 4 a.m. last night. It took me until 2:30, an hour and a half before the show. But we're officially in plat, baby, and it's all because I've been following some notes from the Boston Diva. Let's take a look here at my favorite play of the match so far. After demecking Mickey, Note single-handedly took Taimu out of the action on that Junkrat and then constantly applies the pressure. Look how he doesn't take damage. He just stays behind the bubble. He plays so safe. What is that, 80, 100, 200 damage maximum?
Yeah.
Always setting himself up for success.
And the weird thing is, teams, when they play against Boston Uprising, are still trying to put early damage onto Gamsu, as you would against most teams. But it really is Note is the focal point of this team's aggression. It's normally Gamsu sets up some kind of positioning and then is just going to go in on the dive. But Note is the anchor for the team. The Korean analysts like to call the Diva the torso of the team, connecting like the head to the legs.
I thought you said tosser, but torso sounds much more, it makes more sense here.
It definitely does.
Brent, when you look at Note, though, I rank him as a top Diva right now, and I asked Josh, where do you put him? Is he 1? Is he 5? Where does he rank amongst the league's best?
I'm still not too certain and set it that he is the best, because I feel like I need to see more play. And it's actually very difficult to tell, because Boston as a whole are very good. They're very solid, and they actually do mitigate for a lot of the mistakes that Note makes himself in a lot of these matches. But he's definitely one of the best now. It's pretty much up there that he is one of the top 3 Divas in the game right now.
Josh, where do you have him?
I would have him as the best aggressive Diva in the game. You got guys like Meko, guys like Coolman. They're more of the defensive Divas. They're keeping the rest of their team alive. Excellent at that. And Note can do that. But when it comes to being aggressive and punishing mistakes of enemies and actually getting those picks, I don't think there's anybody on Note's level. He is fantastic at being able to do that.
I love it. We get a chance to watch Note at least 2 more times today. We got Ilios in Junkertown. Boston looking for their 8th win in a row here in Stage 3. We'll be right back. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just motored through the first half of our first match of the day with the Boston Uprising, currently up 2-0 on the Dallas Fuel. Now, we just got a little bit of insight on that Blizzard World strategy from Brandon, and I gotta say, it's very impressive how composed those guys are. They just have like a good balance of patience and aggressiveness. I really wish I could synergize with folks in comp that well, and I'd be back in Master by now if that was the case. But anyways, guys, we got a whole nother half. It's match point Boston. Can the Dallas Fuel bring this thing back? Let's find out right now and send it back to our caster, Simler, and the guy with a very nice shirt.
Aw, you took my joke. I was gonna open with that.
He was gonna do it. I swear, Malik. You're so on point, man. Seriously. All right, yeah, dude. It is a nice shirt.
It's both beautiful color.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. He's got 2 pockets, so I only got 1.
Ah, okay.
See,
what does that say?
well, I shop in clearance is what it says.
He can afford that extra pocket. I get it, X. I get it. Well, yep, it is. That is what's going on here. Dallas Fuel are currently in the process of getting demolished by Boston Uprising, but no series is over. That's how it works in these games. When you've got best of 3s, best of 4s, best of 5s, it's not until it's done that it's done. Dallas are certainly a team that can come back.
We're going to Ilios, but what I really love about Boston is even during the halftime, despite the performance they just put on over the Dallas Fuel, relentless pursuit of perfection. Some coaching still going on of like how to perfect the dive, how to get there a little bit better, a little bit closer. So yeah, it's a series that they believe they should win. They're undefeated, but still trying to get better every chance they get. Ilios, though, you can't necessarily sleep on because I think we're going to see a lot of AKM on Pharah. It's what they've been running on this map recently. And that could be something that, you know, sometimes if a Pharah is just on, it can be really hard to deal with. So we'll see what these teams want to roll out with here. AKM on the Pharah has been something that they've been trying to run on Ilios previously. And we are going to kick it off here at, well, better known as the Murder Hole.
Thank you, Hex. Yes, in fact, it is the Murder Hole. And we'll see who will get chucked into it today, as we will be getting into the action here in about 18 seconds. Mickey will most definitely not be staying on Symmetra. Don't get your hopes up out there, Symmetra mains. Actually, I hope that you never get your hopes up, Symmetra mains. But it is going to be on the other side, Boston Uprising. Do we think Mistake stakes on McCree? This is a great McCree point.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that they've run on this map before as well. Just a McCree and a Tracer. Then they will put someone else on a Roadhog too, because Roadhog's so good at pulling people into the holes. A little bit interesting that OG is still in the lineup, as Coco would be playing the Orisa generally here as one of the top Orisas in the league. Just hasn't been able to play it that much. So, interesting oppositions from both. No Pharah. AKM's going to go back to his best hero, Soldier 76, something you can see on this map pretty often as well.
Just constant damage. Or you can have a boosted volley to the face. Time of dead. What a hook! Perfectly done by Notes. The halt hook combo, and he just barely survives it. That was close. OGE trying to return the favor, but it doesn't work out.
Just beautiful. Yanks him up over the shield. They've got the perfect coordination to hook him and drop him into the well there. Notes. We talk so much about his diva, but there's almost every good off tank in this league has like this amazing Roadhog in their pocket. So we'll see what Note can get done on it as well. Mistakes on the McCree still, you know, so this is the combination of DPS they want to run. And now it's about where can you get AKM for him to be the most effective on Soldier 76. They're going to take a back corner and face off again over the hole.
Yeah, just melting shields left and right. Striker yet again, Unko will die. And it is going to be Striker setting it up for the pulse. Not going to find a kill. Doesn't get the stick. Mickey is dangerously low. But with Striker on high like this, he can just constantly keep raining in hurt.
I really do like that they're running the Roadhog as well, especially if you expect an Orisa, which you do on this stage most often. You need something to be able to put in that consistent damage to crack the shields, and it's not going to be your McCree, and it's not going to be your Tracer, so you're just firing alt fires into it from distance and cracking it as quickly as possible. And before, when there were a lot of Rhines in the game, we used to call them shield battles. Which team is better at taking down the shield first? And then that's your opening, and so far, they've been able to take down the Orisa shield a little more effectively.
OG kind of crouching there. Striker still hanging out on the flank. They're obviously aware of that. But he is going to be on the high ground once again. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to get that pulse as this fight goes on. Dodges the Helix. That's Mistakes finding the kill on AKM, who got distracted at the perfect moment there by Striker. Time it with the tire, trying to throw it in over the top. Hunting for a target. Dropping dangerously low, down to half HP. And dead.
Not able to get anything there. Maybe would have gone on the Orisa, at least to try to force it out, or force out her ability to deflect that damage. Not going to happen there. And I'm a little surprised that Deadeye went through. With an Orisa on the field, you expect shield uptime to be so high, but perhaps it was cracked in the cooldown and not available yet. AKM's going to throw in this visor as Dallas has yet to put any real pressure on the point until this point.
Yeah, they're just running the clock. They're playing this perfectly. AKM eventually finds a kill on Nako. We will have the trance thrown in here by Unko. wondering about that one, but really just wanting to end this fight. But look at that, 99%, and Dallas will flip it. But Boston, when they lost Note, they're like, okay, now we just play for time. Now we just play for percentage. We just keep a body on the point. Let them whittle us down, fine. But now we're up to 99%. They just need to win one fight.
Yeah, one fight away. I mean, you saw the aggressive flanking from the supports there where we're taking down my AKM towards the end. That's because they were trying to probably reset anyway. They go for another halt hook. They get the halt, not the hook, though. Just barely missing, and Striker still being so annoying up here. Who's going to come up here and pressure him?
Yeah, it's not really going to happen. We will have the bongos in. I think Note got, well, he pushed Mickey off into Oblivion. Down the murder hole he goes. Unko finds 2 kills to bring it back. And Kelix will get the res up on Nako, so there is a chance here for Boston if they wanted to. Striker still looking for an opening. And while the Supercharger here just to try and end this fight, Gamsu narrowly avoiding the murder hole himself. And there's the trance getting thrown in here by Nako, deciding they need to get in here, Boston. They want to just close this fight down.
Striker's just on vacation up on the rooftop villa. Again, there was no one who can get up here and pressure him unless Taimu decides to jump up there and try to do it. They're going to throw another tactical visor into this fight.
Cam nearly gets clipped there. Looks like Nako with the volley. That was close. There it is. The stick coming in from Striker. Still on high. Just the remaining threat. Who refuses to give up. And well, it's all about Dallas Fuel just keeping a presence on the point now. They're into overtime, and that wick's going to keep burning faster and faster. They cannot leave it for an instant, and Unko feeling the pressure finally throws the trance into this fight, trying to keep his teammates alive. No boosts back out of the hole. So close.
Oh, so close indeed. It was almost over as well. That overtime timer was down to its very last bits. Mickey into the hole from courtesy of Gamsu. And Deadeye's going to zone them out, getting pushed off the point. Boston takes stage number 1.
And they just look like it's just another day in the office. I mean, they are 1 point away now from winning this series.
You know, you mentioned Striker's the most active and busiest tracer. Then he just decides to kick it on the rooftops for a while. There was no one to contest him. Eventually, Taimu went up there just to put some pressure on him with a Junkrat. But that means those are junk nades not hitting the opposing shield, and you're going to lose that shield war again. Nice play there from Boston, looking to close out this series as we head to the Lighthouse.
Yes, no Moiras in sight? Nope, sadly. So it will just be the 1 Lighthouse, not 3, on this map. But we will be getting into it here, as it is looking like Boston are going to stick to the game plan. Kelix is going to be on the Lucio.
Okay, we've got Tracer from AKM, so no Pharah so far. No Pharah for the map from AKM. It's what we expected, but they're going to try different things. AKM, I mean, someone's got to play Tracer for this team. I mean, it just has to happen, and AKM's going to be the one to try his hand at it.
Let's get into it. AKM, I mean, he was on Blizzard World briefly. I mean, that was under duress, it felt like, but he did get on the Tracer then. So we'll see if he can go toe-to-toe with Striker. Not going to like those odds, though. Striker could very well eat him alive.
So far, just a poke battle right now. Contesting on the point is a Tracer duel right now. AKM against Striker. See who gets the better of that one. You're still just fighting, and both these McCree just trying to take chip damage. And there it is. That's exactly what you're waiting for the McCree to do enough damage and then some follow-up to be there on the ground. It's what Soul did yesterday so well on last point of Oasis. Eventually, they get the follow-up damage from all that chip damage up top from mistakes and will take first control.
I love the aggression from Note as well. Just deciding, right, we're not even going to let them get out through the door. Fight is over, boys. Let me go ahead and escort you back to spawn or send you there directly if one of you oversteps. Taimu has got Deadeye. That's one thing that they have to work with here. Dallas Fuel. Harry Hook nearly has the Valk as well. Kelix has the Valk for Boston Uprising, though, so he'll be able to cancel it out. What's concerning is that Unko has dropped fairly far behind in the trance battle.
Still the battle on the point. AKM's just been there the whole time. He waited for the leap in, but neither team truly wanting to engage just yet. Note will bully away AKM's. Wow. Bullies him right into a Deadeye.
Yep, no recall, no way to dodge. Now they're just gonna get run over, literally. Nope, once again charging into the mix. He's got self-destruct. He could use it if he really felt it was necessary, but he's gonna go ahead and escort Mickey off the side. Goodbye. Goodbye,
Is the way really necessary? He knows. He knows.
Of course.
It's not necessary, but...
Listen, the players can't hear each other, so they can't shout, you know, smack at each other, so you gotta do it in a game. I'm all for it.
I appreciate it. All right, so 54% and counting up for Boston. They win this stage, they win this series, and will continue to be undefeated in stage number 3 here. 8-0 thus far. Striker's got Pulse Bomb. Seen him be so good here. OGE is going to come up over top. He's all alone, though. Wouldn't be surprised if Note goes up after him. Note is up after him. He's going to push him out.
Yeah, looking for the pressure. I like the Gumps who tried to get in there, tried to punish the Mercy Res. Mistakes finds the kill on AKM. There is, well, that's going to further delay things here for Dallas Fuel. 78% and counting for Boston Uprising. They're now in that position. Same thing, if they were to give up the first kill, they can just delay it until they're at 99% and then reset for the fight.
Dallas is banking some ults. We'll see if we can get a Deadeye in a decent position here. It can be very difficult when the team's playing on the point to set up a good Deadeye. On the other side of things, Mistakes is nearing his second one as well, and they're just going to keep pushing them out here. Deadeye's out.
Deadeye's out. And he decides to cancel it, just getting out of there. Feeling the heat a little bit. Gamsu on high, finds the squishies. That's going to force Trance. He's just going to try and bat him off the side. Ungo, you're not healing anybody over there. Finally zips his way back onto the point, but with that Trance gone, it's going to be difficult here for him to stay alive, especially with Gamsu punching him in the face. Right back into it. Mistakes finding the kill. Thought it was a self-destruct for a second. Harry Hook is dead. It's down to the 2 tanks here for Dallas Fuel, and it's not looking good. Overtime burning down, and Boston Uprising picking up the series 3-0.
Completely one-sided there. Boston putting on a masterclass of how to use Primal Rage, knocking people into self-destruction. You can't hide here because there's a giant monkey in the corner. Go onto the point and there's an explosion happening. Boston looking as crisp as ever. They will take the series easily, 3-0. We still have one more map to go, and I believe this is one of Dallas's better maps we're going to. We're going to head over to Junkertown.
We're going to get Junkertown. There's a chance to shake things up, perhaps for them to stand out. This kid is not impressed, and we will be going to break for map 4.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. Omened by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. And by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League.
The damage available. And Boyer has so much ability to be able to just get away from players like Linkser on the Tracer. Now getting very close, building up the ult, and there it is. Oh, okay, the Coalescence coming out here. Jae-Hong's just giving the Houston Outlaws a good hosing down. Oh, they're clean indeed. But that push from Soul was nothing but dirty.
In week 3 of stage 3, Boston and London had an epic match that led to the 3rd round of the tiebreaker on Oasis. Right before Boston pushed it to overtime, the Spitfire Sombra threw out a 4-hero hack that helped eliminate Neko, Gamsu, and eventually Kelix.
And it's a 4-man hack! Beautiful from Hurek now, and Prophet's gonna clean them up!
With 3 heroes down for Boston, it looked like a foregone conclusion that London would take the match.
The London Spitfire looking much happier now.
That's when Mistakes would one-up Hureg with a 5-hero EMP.
The EMP comes in and now it's London on the back foot.
The EMP helped take out Gesture, cancelled out Bidosin's Coalescence, and made it impossible for Wuyal to survive, thus sealing the victory.
Somehow the Boston Uprising have turned this around.
Finally, Boston won the match in an amazing reverse sweep of London.
The Boston Uprising snatch victory from the jaws of defeat.
That right there was the turning point where Mistakes and the Boston Uprising turned a sour moment into something sweet. Presented by Sour Patch Kids Candy.
So, Hex,
What?
sour and sweet. No, it's great, man. It's all good. I happen to,
We all have our parts to play here.
Exactly.
Also, who didn't show up this week to do theirs? You're gonna hear me later on another one of those, because this guy, oh, I'm camping, I'm busy.
I felt a slight twinge for when I realized, oh yeah, there's the Sour Patch stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a job that I should go to. I don't just get to live in Joshua Tree.
Hex will be fine, Hex will be fine. All right, we got Coco subbing in for OGE, and at the same time, we will have the Birdman himself back in here to peck some eyes out. We'll see if he can get to them first. But it is going to be, you know, a new roster here for Dallas.
That's very likely to start shooting some arrows at people. The Seagull Hanzo has been very effective on Junkertown. Hanzo is a hero that we'll see play on Junkertown. Seagull's one of the best at it. I believe it was against London that he actually gave them a lot of trouble with that Hanzo here. So going into Junkertown, Boston now has the record for consecutive match victories at 12. Unstoppable Juggernaut.
Beastly is another way to put it. That is monstrous. Is another way to put it. We can just keep going all day, Hex. So
there's several ways to put it.
Yeah. Demigods themselves.
Yeah,
there you have them on your screen. I wasn't gonna go full gods, but you know they can be demigods.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we're polytheistic.
Listen, they lift the trophy at the end. Then I'll go ahead and acknowledge, right, the god,
full god,
the godhood. But
be out there on your knees.
But they're getting there. They're getting there.
All right, well, looking for the full sweep is Boston Uprising. Of course, map differential always counts, and Boston trying to get a better seed into the playoffs. I believe with a victory, they have locked up that they will be in the Stage 1 playoffs. To be surprising not at 8-0 in Stage 1, 9-0 now with this victory here. So Boston looking to continue to crush it here on Junkertown. It's been one of Dallas's better maps recently. They've shown some decent strategies on it. Defensively, you're not going to see a whole lot of variation from Boston, except that Neko will go to the Roadhog. Most often on this map, a lot of teams run single support on the first point at the very least. You will see the same thing on the side of Dallas as they're running a single Mercy as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that we don't see the full cheese. I mean, just go for the full Rook 4 here and get the Bastion on the point along with the double snipers.
Yeah, I mean, Boston has done that before. They'll run a Neko on a Bastion as well, but I mean, Seagull is on this offensive Hanzo. He's gonna give them a lot of vision, and there it is. He gets on the flank, able to take down Striker, trying to deny this res, but he res right in his face.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. We saw it from a clip in the past. Seagull, he manages to, he gets that first pick, and he gets the punish on the Mercy. This time, however, he misses the shot, and so Boston Uprising will continue to be able to put up the defense here that is wreaking havoc. Notes finds the kill on Taimu.
Seagull a little bit of trouble now. He's got heals. He's gonna go for a few extra shots here. Don't really want to die right now and get reset. We're going to go for this right side angle. But of note, he is nearing Dragon already. He's got his ultimate up, so you can use it just to make space, but also against defenses like this that are pretty in a solitary position. There's a Sonic Arrow. He knows where they are.
Yep.
Maybe doesn't see the angle just yet for the Dragon Strike.
Yeah, I mean, they are going to be pretty mobile. There's only like 3 targets there. They can kind of hop out of the way. If you can get him point blank, though, there might be a chance to set it up as we do get the halt hook combo. Striker with the tire gets denied by Taimu. Excellent shot there from the pin. And we will have Seagull still setting it up. The long angle here with the Dragon Arrow could be big, and there it is. The ult right into the mix. The hook on Neko as well gives him no way out, but they do manage to dodge the Dragon.
Yeah, and they got Harry during that as well. Self-destruct's gonna come up over top, right through the middle for Note. That's actually where he sends them most of the time, but sometimes he sends them right on the ground through the middle, like he's bowling through there and gets a lot of value there, but they will buy some time because of that early kill on Harry. Harry will come back with Valkyrie available. Now, this kind of composition, the double sniper, has been so popular on this map, the crossfire, because where are you really going to set up? And there's also so much vision. Seagull doesn't need Sonic Arrow, he's got Infra Sight from Taimu.
So that'll be the res. Fresh shield going up there to block the supercharger as well. You're not pushing into that business. 50% more damage for everybody. You do have one of your own. Kogo decides it's time to get the ult into play. Striker finds the mind kill on Seagull, but not before dying himself. But then you got the rest of them. It's going back and forth right now. That supercharger really paying dividends here. Coco managing to keep that alive, and that allows Dallas to go toe-to-toe with Boston and pull ahead.
Yeah, supercharger onto Whole Hog does so much damage if they only didn't get knocked away from it, which is why I used to see Graviton and Whole Hog be an amazing combo. The damage output is real from that ultimate. And I don't know if Boston has designs of staying in here. I mean, Note is still alive, but he's going to be demeched on the cart. They want to fight this. They're coming back out.
They're coming back out. One at a time here. Note gets demeched, but he's still in this. Oh, losing Kelix, though, that could be big. Well, they go with the whole hog in here, just trying to push them off at the point, and he will succeed in it, but eventually he will get run over bodily by Mickey. Unko finds a kill of his own, and Dallas Fuel will find success here on the first point.
Kelix was so close to getting Valkyrie there too. I think 80% when he died, 87% rather when he died. I think they might have thrown bodies on there pretty late to see if they wanted to make any switches here. Second point is where you'll see a lot of teams give up on the single heals and go back to a Zenyatta as well, but Neko is going to stay on the Roadhog. It's because Roadhog can give the Hanzo a little bit of trouble if he gets a little close, that mid-range, and Hook seems like a short-range ability. No, it goes super far.
It's definitely frustratingly so. We'll see if Unko can connect Hook with faces eventually here. Gamsu getting whittled down. He'll be topped right back up again. That payload making very good progress so far. We will have the target getting thrown in here by Striker, and well, that is going to be the Dragon right through the core of the defense. Gamsu, however, weathers the storm, manages to dodge it in the nick of time. And while Striker finds the kill, Taimu out of it.
Yeah, Tiger does come down in the back line, takes down Taimu. Taimu is resurrected again, though. The brawl is continuing, but now with the tanks both down for Dallas, it might be time to retreat. Might be time to revisit this composition and see if anything changes here. Seagull has stayed on the Hanzo on second point before, but can be very difficult. What I would like to see Dallas do is use the Dragon Strike, knowing that it's going to zone and push them in a certain place, and have someone there to be able to pick up those kills. Yeah. Have Taimu in an angle that when they have to move out of the Dragon Strike, he's there with good shots available to him. It hasn't happened so far.
Great. Nice little body shot there. Where is that self-destruct going? Out in the open. Neko, no problem, doesn't care, but Seagull finds a kill on Gamsu. That's a good start. With this Infra Sight right now, Mistakes, I feel like he needs to get in here and find a kill on a Squishy. He is going to look for the DMEC on Mickey. Not even going to get that, though.
It's been rough going for Mistakes as Widow so far. Hasn't really found much pay dirt. And for being a Widow-centric map, well, Taimu and Mistakes have been rather quiet. That's an interesting duel. Taimu will win.
The headshot, point blank. Kelix and Striker still alive, but not for long, certainly. And wow, the Dragon even getting thrown in here. Not holding anything back. Seagull decides to fully commit to this fight.
And they've done such a better job of using their ultimates and knowing where people are going to have to retreat to and picking up those kills. Earlier, it was a self-destruct over the top. That forced Orisa down, and Seagull's there with the scatter arrow that absolutely decimates tanks, and they will get second point. Dallas continues to push.
2 minutes and a half here on the clock as well to work with. They've got the time to make this happen, Hex. This could be Dallas Fuel having that successful offense. On the last map, the series is over. Boston have won the series, but you know, they might as well avoid the injury after the insults here, Dallas Fuel.
But you got to start somewhere and see what compositions work. Like I said, this has been a map that they've looked better on lately. Maybe not always getting the wins, but have looked more cohesive. The strategy seems to suit them, and that whole hog is going to come in from Unko. Wow. Able to get that kill. Look at that Matrix eating up so much of that initial damage from Unko.
Oh, what a monster tire as well. Taimu, Coco out of it. Seagull finds the trade, however, but takes a mine to the face, but yet again he trades it back. Striker, I mean, those arrows, they'll still travel.
Well, Unko's in a little bit of trouble here, but he's just going to take a breather, go back to Vape Nation there and regroup with his team.
Well,
no. I regret everything.
You threw it up. That's the thing, though. They can't see us right now, Hex. They can't see us. All right, Taimu. Headshot on Mistakes. So there's the opening pick here for Dallas Fuel. Now, can they capitalize on this? The Halt Hook combo. Yep, sure enough. Mickey yanking Note in yet again. They are getting that coordination down here, Dallas. But that Note's like, here, take this. Doesn't find a kill, but that forces Coco and Seagull into an awkward spot. Striker pounces.
Striker able to get a couple kills. I think Note had just had enough of it there. He was hooked in, and then he got dropped into a trap on the ground. He's like, let me just get a new mech. This one's beat up. What kind of
the new model
programs
exactly. Exactly. Give me the 2018 model. All right, well, Striker, what's going on here, mate? Just chucking nades in, doing what Junkrats do. He's got that tire again. He's been super successful at it so far. This time around, not quite finding pay dirt.
Just taking the chunk damage there that he wanted. They have switched over to double support here, which most teams have to do at the last point, and they're just getting absolutely crushed. This is so frustrating on Junkertown. I'm sure we've all been there, where you're supposed to be pushing, right? And the defense just won't let you out. You're stuck here, and you don't even know how to get in because it's right here that all the spam's coming into. You might try to go the right side, bottom ground, but there's still going to be, it's just like, there's so many choke points here that if you don't get a decent way out with the card on your first push, this can be so difficult to break through.
Now we're seeing it here. I mean, Halt Hook combo again. Note gets fished again. He survives again. And this time, he doesn't quite have the self-destruct, so he will get topped up. Should have it very soon, though, for this final fight. As the time takes down here for Dallas Fuel, can they make some progress? Bongos are in play. Note throws himself in there. Mistakes denies Siegel's tire. And now it is all about getting value here for the Dallas Fuel. Every meter matters.
A little Doomfist from Tamu. So fun to spectate, so fun to watch. Already solo, has to bail back out to his team. And they continue to lose people. Harry Hook dying to a Venom Mine of all things.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That's unreal. The poison, Unko, you can't kill him while he's got the trance. So again, a couple of meters gained here for Dallas Fuel, and it will be the end here. Boston Uprising will deny the third point, but Dallas Fuel coming up with some good plays here on the first two.
Well, we'll see how Dallas was able to get it this far, starting off on their point A capture.
Mercy? Yeah, inside bottom left. Mercy's all the way out. Mercy's out. Mercy's in, Mercy's in, Mercy's in. Kill Mercy point. Get a Mercy, please. Go. Mercy dead, Mercy dead. Mercy car. They're gonna have new mech soon. Kill baby. Kill baby. Oh, gives one. No, gives one. Can you demo? Can you go one? Okay. Nice. That's the cap.
That is, in fact, the cap.
Just to clarify, Pilot Diva is often referred to as Baby Diva. No one's advocating killing babies. No one.
We should, you know, it's so good. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Like minds,
yeah, like
same wavelength.
This is not a modest proposal.
We're just dark human beings.
Jonathan Swift did not write the script for the Overwatch League.
We're just dark human beings, Hex. Kill the baby! No!
No, please don't. Please don't. All right, well, that's where Dallas was able to push it last time when they fought against Florida Mayhem. Stopped in roughly that same spot there, so just a hard time of breaking through around that bend, around that corner. We'll see what they have going here next. Now, Boston will oftentimes start on a pirate ship at the very least. It's been Neko who's run that previously for them on the Bastion. They could run nearly anything here. As we mentioned, this set is over 3-0 Boston. Undefeated stage 3, 12-match win streak, and they've beaten so many good teams during that win streak that they're not just beating up on teams that you expect them to beat.
Oh yeah, there have been some upset victories for Boston Uprising, but you know, if you're going to take over, you're going to have to go through the best. Right now, they're making a very strong argument for themselves. I was kind of reflecting there for a moment. Why in a world where you take no fall damage would you write watch your step? You know, like, why are you concerned?
It's probably for the workers who build the railings between halves, you know?
Ah, that's got to be it. You're right. All right, there we go. The hook in. There you go. Denied. The Widows looking for each other as well.
Hey, just because it's Overwatch doesn't mean OSHA doesn't exist.
Oh, yes. Also very good.
Mistakes going for this far left flank. Mickey's there to deny it, though. It's pretty well known on this map, and this map has been kind of figured out in a lot of ways. There's going to be a Widow. She takes these very far angles, left, sometimes on the right. I love this flank right now that Striker's putting so much damage on the backside there, while Mistakes is looking for the angle on the other side of things.
These are also the greedy angles can be taken here by the Junkrats on the right. Taimu, he wants close quarters. He won that fight last time around, and Mistakes just barely, narrowly surviving there at the end. So Mistakes doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Going to back off and change up the angle. Perhaps he can find better results over here, point blank.
It's a nice hook there, but Unko's going to live through it. I mean, hook used to be a single ability that was able to kill anybody, just the damage output. Now it's a team ability. You have to call it, you have to call the hook, you need the follow-up there. Taimu gets the better of Mistakes to kick this one off.
But we get the kill on Unko, so now will we be able to get the res off or not? Striker right now is just destroying everybody. Big kills coming through. Harry Hook will have the wings out. He will get the res off on Seagull. That key damage back into this fight, but you've lost Poco. You've lost your main tank in the meantime. Will you have the throughput here, Dallas Fuel, to hold on as Striker gets a tire of his own into this? Harry Hook is already dead. And yeah, he'll find Seagull a second time.
There's almost no one left alive. He found Seagull right as he was channeling it, too, so he threw the mine right into him and takes down the tire and Seagull in that position as well. This is plenty of time, though, for Dallas to come back out one more time. They are trying to get back up in position. They can give up a ton of ground, but Neko's got eyes on them. This is so smart to know, like, this is where they want to come in anyway. And it seems like Dallas, with the infrasight, are just going to give it up. They want to take high ground here on second point.
Yeah, they refuse to give up that high ground on second, it looks like.
It's like an early infrasight from Taimu. Yeah, it's already faded. Interesting.
He's looking to take advantage of it through the window there. Didn't find anything. And so now we will make the progress. Striker, remote in hand.
Striker just gonna lock it up there. There's oftentimes that you see a Widow up there, so he's trying to clear the way so that Mistakes actually takes that angle away from the defensive Widow. Right now, Dallas just eating a bunch of fire from the ground. No one contesting this cart. Huge concussion mine.
Yeah, that was a big one. Mickey D-Max as well. That's not gonna help things. This Note finds the kill with the self-destruct. Nako and Striker working together. Uncle will get, no, he barely survives a thread. Hardly any HP to speak of. And he will be brought back up, but not for long. Note eventually, well, yeah, Note takes Note and ends him.
Striker just dancing around, does somehow get out of with his life, and is able to save Calyx there as well. So this one not entirely over. With only 4 up for Boston, it might be time to reset here. Wait for a different push. Neko staying on that Roadhog. This is an area that Boston will oftentimes transition into a full dive. But I think what they're doing is successful enough, they don't feel like they have to transition into that just yet.
They're going to hold on to it a little bit, it seems. Well, Striker continues to just chuck nades in left and right, but now Seagull's got that high ground, so I'm curious to see if Note is going to head back over to help out. No, Note is taking the fight to Dallas in the mainstay as Seagull will deny the Striker tire, and well, all of these kills, the kill feed filling with white here for Dallas Fuel.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Boston, Calyx did use his Valkyrie during that fight too, and a Resurrection, but it was all too late. You can see how difficult a Junkrat can be to dislodge from that high ground once they have it. And that's why early on you saw all of the nades going up there just to clear a little bit of a path. They would like to get their own DPS up there for the angles.
We need to take a look at the Queen's rules. The Queen of Junkertown, her rules on the wall again. I don't know, I was a little confused there for a second reading through them.
It just says Master Blaster runs Junkertown.
Keep, you know, pay your share or whatever, but then finders keepers. Okay, which is it? Which is it?
Find your share to pay your share?
I guess that's how it is. I mean, is this a... They look out for each other in
I don't
society?
know Junker law. I specialize in bird law. Speaking of bird law, here comes Seagull. He's got a tire up, ready to go. He does take down Gamsu, who's met at the wrong side of Seagull's ire several times this match. Unko again barely gets out alive.
Dude, he is definitely breathing a sigh of relief a couple times in. As Mickey will find the kill on Calyx with the help of Unko. Now it's going to be the long duel here. Wow, Nako even throwing it in. That must be, they're going to go for the change here, it seems, Boston Uprising.
Yeah, it's time to make some switches. With everybody down, now is the time. Maybe Striker stays on Junkrat because he's got 84%. Be surprised if Mistakes doesn't do something a little different, but he's not really getting bullied in the Widow battle either, so it's just, it's not really a composition issue right now. But this is, you know, generally where you'd see like a Tracer and a Genji just go full-on dive into it, but... Yeah.
I guess you get Nako on that Discord orb again. You know, they're tired of seeing Unko survive by the skin of his teeth. Yes. You get a Discord orb in there, goodbye tank, you're dead. So that may be the turning point here that Boston Uprising were waiting for, as they have a minute left on this clock. I like it, you know, getting every meter on that payload, but we've lost Mistakes to Mickey and a self-destruct, and that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's only a minute. Mistakes staying on that Widowmaker. A little bit surprised he's still not going over to Genji, but Mistakes is able to repay Mickey for it. Seagull has just been untouched for the most part. He's going left, he's going right, he's getting damage in. Woo, chonking down direct nades. Nice Junkrat play from Seagull. I mean, he really has the perfect hero pool for Junkertown. Plays a good Junkrat, plays a good Hanzo. What more do you need?
Exactly. One of your specialists, per se. Now, Mickey hanging out, watching the back progress there of the payload through Boston Uprising. They've got 30 seconds to make it happen here, to keep their hopes alive for this last map in the series.
Yeah, final fight. They might pop wings here as well, but Seagull's gonna have Tire. Tire's so good at taking down Valkyrie Mercies because it's got the vertical ability. I think that's the micro duel you want to look at going into this fight.
Oh, let's see.
There's one Mercy down to a tire, not the one we predicted. Another tire is coming out, though. Can it find Kellex? Oh, it gets caught up just a little bit. Gonna take a consolation prize.
There's the superchargers all over the place. And it is going to be overtime as Boston Uprising press forward. And I found it, Hex. I found what actually stood out there for the Queen's rules.
What's that?
It was, settle your own score. Like, but why are you paying taxes if you're going to settle your own score? Isn't that the whole purpose of society? You know, you got to, whatever. They're a bit confused down under, it seems. They're a bit confused. But they'll figure it out eventually.
I just love that this is really taking hold of your mind, that you're trying to figure out what are the rules of the world? I need to know.
This society. All right, well, there we go, guys. We're going to get into the thick of things here. We have a minute on the clock for Boston Uprising. They can see the destination. Now, can they get the payload into the glowing rectangle on the ground?
About two pushes here if they are stopped. So far, no one even contesting on this cart right now. It is rolling in dangerously close. It is time to go now. No sends one over the top. Oh, gets 2 for it. Most importantly, gets Harry Hook. No resurrection available. Can they fight this 4v6? Never mind. Boston's going to take it for him.
Not like this, Dallas. No, you were doing so well. They are going to die one after another. Mickey, not long for this world, and it is over. Boston Uprising at the end will deny the victory there to Dallas Fuel. It will be the 4-0 clean sweep for Boston.
Kind of what we expected coming into this series, that Dallas was going to be beaten. They were beaten handily. Boston continues to be the team to watch in the Overwatch League right now. All-star players across the board for them. You can make an argument for every single role on this lineup being one of the best, or at very least top 5 in the league.
Oh yeah, they are showing it. They're just writing this story right now. Coming to the league as underdogs. Hey, now you know everybody on who's sitting on that throne. You better watch out. We're coming to take it. They are looking so good. And while Dallas back to the drawing board as far as they're concerned, they're gonna have to figure things out for themselves, as we will be getting into the next series. It is going to come up after the break, but, you know, everybody, it's been a good day so far. Let's see if it can get any better.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever.
Welcome back, one and all. This is Zoe, and I'm now joined by Kellex. Please give it up for him and his team, the Boston Uprising. 4-0. What an amazing performance from you and the whole team. Now, this is going to be a long question, so stick with me. Earlier this week, I talked to the Florida Mayhem coach about their preparation against Dallas Fuel. And they told me that this week it's been really hard for them, given that Effect wasn't in the lineup. And they really didn't know what to expect from the Dallas Fuel, who will be fielded, what they will be playing. What was the preparation like for you guys, given that unknown factor?
We were a little bit confused ourselves, but we looked over the Florida and Dallas match, and we found out what comps they would play on Anubis, and then we just adapted, I guess.
All right, adapted, I guess. Seemed to work out, I guess, with a 4-0. Looking ahead with the match tonight, you actually secured yourself a stage playoff spot. What does that make you feel like?
It feels great that we can finally be in the stage playoffs, because we've never been there, but we're more focused on the overall season playoffs, but it feels nice to be here.
All right, well, it's a well-deserved spot, so please give it up once more. They will be in the stage playoffs. Congratulations to you and the team. Can't wait to see what more you guys have in store for us, but for now, let's head over to the desk to break down the game.
Thank you so much, Zoe. That's right, Boston now jumps up to 8-0 here in Stage 3. Perfect so far. And a very impressive 4-0. Welcome back. It's Puggy here at the desk. I've got Mr. Sideshow, Mr. Bren once again. And this is a big win for Boston because, as Zoe just mentioned, they're going to the playoffs. They fell short in Stage 1. They fell short in Stage 2. They're going right now here in Stage 3. And as we take a look at the stage standings, today's 4-0 is going to put them in an interesting position. You got 2 matches left. New York, they got 3 left, but Boston really puts themselves in a good position to lock up that #1 seed, and that's something special this time around.
The #1 seed, very important this time in the Stage 3 playoffs, because that #1 seed gets to pick their opponents. So the 4 teams that get through, they get to pick who they go up against in the semi-finals. So that gives them a pretty big advantage, honestly. You're probably not going to want to be picking NYXL there unless they happen to be the #1.
That's right. If you get to the finals, you're guaranteed 25 grand just to play there. 100 grand if you win it. Bren, if you are Boston, if you lock up the #1 seed and the teams that are in the top 4 get through, do you play Valiant or do you play Gladiators? Who does Boston match up against better?
Valiant for sure, because I feel like Boston, if they play against a more aggressive team like Gladiators, that's actually a bit of a dangerous scenario for them. Valiant definitely suits their playstyle a little bit better.
All right, let's take a look back at some of the best moments of today's match. It was against the Dallas Fuel in Boston. They had control the entirety of this series. Game 4 a little bit closer than they'd like, but I really like the Roadhog coming out from Boston on Ilios.
Yeah, I think Note is really starting to flex as well, his position. You know, we big up his diva play quite a lot, but as well, he can play those other off-tank roles, which is important when, you know, there's a threat looming over the horizon of potential meta changes in the near future going into Stage 4. There's a big question, you know, whether or not Boston are going to continue this hot streak, but I feel like, again, they have shown that they can flex onto a variety of different roles and still perform on them, and, you know, they really do like to flex their muscles on Ilios in particular, and it feels like this was, again, a very one-sided affair. It's
honestly, Dallas didn't play too badly, I think, when they were playing the well with the Orisa Hog. They like these kind of unconventional stuff, but as soon as you get to where AKM has to pick up the Tracer and these kind of things, that's where Dallas Fuel start to struggle. So here on Junkertown, where they're able to play just the default strategy that most teams play, but it's very unconventional compared to the rest of the map pool. You get Seagull playing on the Junkrat, the Hanzo. You can play this Orisa Roadhog for the majority of the map and allow Mickey to play a kind of triple tank with the Diva. And it looked like they were going to be able to win it for a long time there at the end. They had a great hold of the Boston Uprising until they were just finally able to get through. And from there, Dallas couldn't stop them again.
And we were talking downstairs while we were watching these games in the green room. What is going to happen in Stage 4? Because we know Brigitte's most likely coming in Stage 4. Will this slow down the game? Will this help the triple tank of Dallas Fuel moving forward?
I think that's what they've got to be looking forward to in Stage 4. The rest of Stage 3, next week, they've got tough opponents. It's not looking great for them. But if they can rebuild, you get Effect back in the lineup. It's a completely different meta. Maybe more tanks are coming into it. Maybe you've got a cool system with Brigitte. We don't know. But it looks like this is the best place to put your you put your eggs in the stage 4 basket. If you're Dallas Fuel here.
Start looking forward if you're Dallas Fuel. Week 5 not going to be very easy for you either. Let's close things out for this match with, of course, the honors. We got to hand it out, Brent. It's our player of the match sponsored by Omen by HP. Who are you giving it to today?
Wow, the one and only Notes once again. We've been picking up this guy, the one and only. And I mean, he really did perform very well this game once again, really sort of trying to cement his position, I suppose, as you called him the best aggressive diva in the game, Josh. I would say he's definitely top 3 in that regard. He's got a lot of competition, you know, but as well, it's the Roadhog that he can pull out alongside. I mean, we haven't seen his Zarya in quite some time, but again, from memory, not too bad either. So he does deserve the player of the match in this regard. He was a big component as to them getting the victory today.
And the entirety of the Boston Uprising, a very good system. It's great to watch this team play. And it's just now the question of whether they can keep this unbeaten streak going. Who's going to stop them? Is it going to take until the stage 3 playoffs before they finally lose? Will they go unbeaten there? That would be amazing to see where this team ends up.
They got Valiant, they got Gladiators next week. Does Boston go 10-0? I need your predictions in case you're not on the desk next week.
There is a danger here, right? There's a danger because they have both of the strongest teams there in the same week. They have to split their preparation up into both of them. And when teams have done that before, they do struggle. And Boston are a team that need their prep on teams to do well. They need to do their homework and really plan for it effectively. So there is a real danger for them to actually end up losing a game in those next 2 weeks. That is going to be the hardest one for them in that final week 5.
You said that when they have the 2 most difficult teams there, they're the 2 most difficult teams in Los Angeles, the Gladiators.
Of course, yeah. Okay.
Outside of that, I think Boston are going to be the favorites in this matchup. I can see them going undefeated, but maybe not in the stage playoff.
Hey, Valiant and Gladiators are both in the top 4. If we ended the show right now, they would be in the playoffs on Sunday. We'll find out, though, who is going to be able to improve their standings. Gladiators gets their first chance. They face off against the Houston Outlaws when we return.
Experience tranquility.
That is where the table will stop.
Double. It's time.